Let's talk about something really important that most people don't even know exists. So IQ consists of two categories. Verbal IQ, which measures a person's ability to understand and use language, and to reason and understand concepts presented through language-based models. Then there's performal or non-verbal IQ, and this measures a person's ability to solve problems such as identifying patterns, shapes, manipulating objects mentally. This type of intelligence is critical for tasks like assembling furniture, planning and executing steps needed to achieve a certain goal, or planning ahead of time. But sometimes there's a significant gap between the two, which can cause a lot of conflicts in your life. This is called a disharmonic profile or a performal verbal gap. If someone has a higher verbal IQ than a performal IQ, this means that their performance or practical abilities cannot match up to their verbal abilities. Simply said, someone can be really good at explaining something, but once they get to actually doing that thing, you see them really struggle with this. People with this form of profile are often overestimated and overloaded. Others might think that they aren't taking them serious or that they aren't really trying. In worse cases, I even hear people say that they think that they are messing up on purpose with malicious intent. For example, we talked about this so many times. She understood very well how I feel about this, and yet she does it over and over again. She's just trying to get me angry. When this person really did her best and tried to the top of her abilities, this causes them pain, often going back all the way to primary and middle school, where teachers would often think that they aren't doing their best and that they can do better. This also causes a lot of insecurities, feeling like they aren't allowed to make mistakes, because when they do, they are met with confusion or discontentment. It can be challenging for them to live up to the expectations placed on them. My advice for you is to be honest with yourself and others about your capabilities. It's important to set boundaries and to communicate clearly with others about what you can and cannot do. You may also benefit from developing practical skills that can help you with tasks that require performance-based intelligence. Additionally, finding ways to relax and manage stress can help too. Remember that your verbal IQ is only one aspect of your intelligence, and it's important to recognize and value your other strengths as well. But you simply understand the world better through the lens of language, and you may learn to use this to your advantage. Now, the opposite also exists, having a higher performer than a verbal IQ. This would mean that you are better at performing and mentally grasping concepts than that you can express them. In simple terms, you may be smarter than you sound, and this may cause you to be underestimated. Though, so far, I have noticed that people struggle with this slightly less than the other way around. You may notice that you struggle with verbalizing complex ideas that feel very natural in your mind. Sometimes you may need just a moment to sort and structure your thoughts. And in hindsight, you often feel like there were way better ways to explain what you meant. My advice to you is to write down your thoughts more often. This gives you more time to process them, and if you write well, you will eventually learn to speak the way you write, which is hopefully clear, organized, and intuitive. Speaking of intuitive, a more important tip to you is to learn to speak from the gut and the heart, rather than from your high traffic area brain. No lame joke came up to me this time, so just follow me for more and everything psychology.